The siren screamed in my ears. Antiseptic burned my nose. "Ashley Brooks, stay with us," the nurse barked. White light stabbed my eyes. My skull throbbed like a drum. 3 days earlier at my brother's graduation stage, he grabbed the mic and stared me down. "I need $1.5 million from your trust for my startup." Mom leaned in, voice ice cold. "That's your duty. Refuse, and don't call this family anymore." I stood up. "No." The crowd froze. Then everything exploded. Now pain pinned me to the bed. A shadow loomed at the foot, tall, suit sharp. "Miss Grant," the man said, voice low. "Your grandmother left more than money. It's time. If you've ever been the family bank praised, forgiving, punished for stopping, hit like and drop your story below. You're not the only one who said no. 3 days earlier, I still believed family lasted forever. I grew up in Naples, Florida, where the Gulf water sparkled like a promise, and the resort my father owned defined our world. At 12, I started at the front desk after school. Guests rolled in with luggage carts. I checked passports, assigned ocean view rooms, and fixed double bookings before managers noticed. Martin Brooks' dad watched once from the lobby camera feed. He called the head concierge later. "Ashley's reliable," he said. I overheard on the intercom. That counted as affection. The lobby smelled of citrus polish and sunscreen. I wore a navy blazer 2 sizes too big, sleeves rolled. Tourists asked for extra towels. I ran to housekeeping. A honeymoon couple argued over a missing reservation. I upgraded them to a suite with champagne. Dad nodded approval from his office window. No smile. Just a thumbs up that meant the system worked. By 15, I had saved $8,000 in a shoebox under my bed tips from bellhop's birthday cash weekend shifts at the pool bar. I mapped out a used sedan for college runs. Then Justin turned 15. He wanted a red Mustang convertible to cruise the causeway. Mom Deborah Brooks pulled me into the resort office one afternoon. Sunlight streamed through blinds. "Your brother needs confidence on wheels," she explained. "Family invests in the future." She slid the shoebox envelope across the desk. I watched Justin peel out that evening, exhaust popping. He waved once through the open top. No words. The Mustang became his signature. He parked it crooked in the employee lot, keys dangling. Guests asked if the shiny car belonged to the owner's son. Staff confirmed. I biked to school, chain rattling. At 18, I balanced 2 jobs. Dawn shifts, pouring lattes at the resort cafe evenings, drilling algebra into high school seniors who paid $25 an hour. Every dollar funneled into a joint checking account Mom reviewed monthly. Justin's University of Miami acceptance arrived with a $48,000 sticker for year 1. Dad looked up from his eggs at breakfast. "You're already earning," he said. "Cover semester 1. Big sister duty." I transferred the funds before classes started. Justin posted beach selfies tagged "Yucheng college life." I pulled double shifts to keep my community college enrollment active. Sophomore year, Justin joined a fraternity. Dues hit $5,000. I cleaned guest rooms at midnight, vacuuming sand, folding towels into swans. Mom called it temporary sacrifice. Dad called it team player. I called the bank to confirm wire transfers. Fraternity formals required tux rentals. Spring break flights to Cancun. I stocked minibars until 2 a.m. Hands raw from bleach. Justin sent postcards, palm trees, neon signs. Mom framed one in the lobby. "Our scholar abroad," the caption read. At 20, Justin pitched his yacht booking app in a business class. Professors raved. Dad hosted a dinner for local investors on the resort rooftop. Candlelight flickered off champagne flutes. Justin demoed wireframes on a projector. Seamless luxury reservations he promised. Applause rippled. Mom beamed. "Our boy's the visionary." Dad raised a toast. "To the next Brooks empire." I cleared plates between courses. Later, Dad cornered me by the ice machine. "Prototype needs servers," he said. "Your remaining $12,000 closes the gap." I logged into mobile banking under the humming fluorescence. Transfer complete. Justin high-fived an investor. My name never came up. The 12,000 vanished into cloud credits and UI designers. Justin's GitHub filled with commits. Dad installed a second monitor in the lobby for live metrics. Guests watched booking counters climb. Staff whispered about IPO dreams. 22 brought Justin's summer internship in Silicon Valley. Flight housing networking events another 18,000. I took the graveyard shift scrubbing kitchens after banquets. Grease under nails back aching from bending over industrial sinks. Mom sent care packages to California. Dad framed Justin's offer letter in the lobby. Future CEO, the plaque read. I ate cold leftovers in the staff break room calculating how many more months until my own degree. Internship photos flooded socials. Justin with venture partners rooftop bars in San Francisco. Hashtags, #Tech Rising, #Brooks Legacy. Mom forwarded them to resort vendors. Proof of concept, she wrote. Back home, Justin refined the app. Beta testers raved. Dad expanded the resort conference room for demo days. Investors flew in private. Mom coordinated catering. I printed name tags, refilled coffee urns, smiled through introductions. Justin practiced investor pitches in the mirror. Scalable, disruptive, monetized day one. Dad nodded approval. Mom adjusted his collar. You're the face of tomorrow. Between setups, I overheard boardroom talk. Seed round at $2 million valuation. Justin leads product. My role, keep the coffee hot. The pattern locked in years earlier. Praise for Justin's ideas. Silence for my execution. Money flowed one direction out. Never in. I stood on the beach, one dawn waves lapping my ankles. The resort loomed behind lights still on from overnight cleaning. I realized the truth. They viewed me as an ATM with a factory set combination 27. Deposits forbidden. Withdrawals expected. No PIN required, just family obligation. The realization settled heavy. Every shift, every transfer, every compliment aimed at Justin had trained me for this role. Reliable Ashley, practical Ashley. The one who gave without counting. Dad scheduled family photos for the resort brochure. Justin center frame, arms wide. Mom and Dad flanking. I stood slightly behind holding a clipboard. The photographer asked me to step aside for balance. Background, he said. Dad agreed. She handles operations. I smiled for the camera. Inside, the combination lock ticked closer to 27. Justin's app hit campus app stores. Downloads spiked. Dad ordered branded polo shirts, Brooks yachts. Staff wore them proudly. I folded laundry in the basement, steam fogging glasses. Mom planned a launch party. Invitations went to chamber members, city council, yacht club. Budget $25,000. Catered lobster open bar. I balanced the invoice against payroll. Worth the investment, Mom said. Visibility. I nodded. Visibility for whom? The party night arrived. String lights draped palms. Live band played reggae. Justin worked the crowd, demo tablet in hand. Investors clustered. Dad introduced him as the innovator. Mom circulated with champagne. I refilled ice buckets, wiped spills, directed valets. A venture partner asked Dad about equity split. Family enterprise, Dad replied. All in the blood. I carried trash bags to the dock. The Gulf swallowed reflections of celebration. My phone held 0 balance alerts. Justin found me later. Sis, the numbers look solid. Pre-seed closes next week. He clapped my shoulder. Your support got us here. Support. The word tasted like salt. I returned to the party. Guests toasted Justin's future. No one noticed the sister in the staff apron. The ATM analogy crystallized. Locked until 27. Withdrawals on demand. No interest earned. No questions asked. I wiped a table, stacked chairs. The band packed up. Dad counted RSVPs for Phase 2. Mom photographed Justin with the mayor. I slipped away to the employee locker room. Fluorescent buzz. My reflection in the mirror, tired eyes, resort logo faded. The lock waited. The combination was mine alone. 1 week before graduation, my phone buzzed on the nightstand. Fletcher Law Group flashed on the screen. I locked my bedroom door and opened the message under the lamp. Formal letterhead filled the display. Dear Miss Ashley Brooks, the Margaret Grant Revocable Trust activates on your 27th birthday. Valuation $92 million. Origin, 1985 hotel management software. Patents global licensing compounded royalties. Equity holdings. Reason for designation Margaret Grant specified in her 2015 codicil that the principal beneficiary must be the first female descendant to demonstrate sustained financial independence without family subsidy. Ashley Brooks met this criterion at age 22, having self-funded community college tuition and living expenses for 4 consecutive years while employed at Brooks Resort. Enclosed summary codicil excerpt Independence Audit. Contact for details. Harold Fletcher Esquie. I scrolled the codicil. Grandma's handwriting scanned in blue ink. Ashley works the front desk at 12, saves every tip, never asks for allowance. She is the builder, not the borrower. The money is hers alone at 27, no co-trustees, no overrides. The attachment loaded spreadsheets columns of dividends dating back decades, reinvested gains tax efficiencies. Grandma Margaret Grant pioneered digital reservations for budget chains. She licensed the code in 1985, retained perpetual royalties. The fortune compounded while I wiped counters. A knock rattled the door. Mom's voice. Ashley, dining room, family discussion. I descended to the oak table set for 4. Dad stood at the head folder centered. Mom placed printouts beside water glasses. Justin scrolled emails feet on a chair. Mom broke the quiet. The law firm sent us a duplicate notice. She aligned the pages. $92 million. Grandma's work paid off. Dad opened the folder. Margaret intended family benefit. Justin's platform extends her hospitality vision. I scanned the summary. My name topped every page. Activation clause, age 27. Codicil excerpt highlighted in yellow. Justin pocketed his phone. Bridge capital for launch. Investors close in days. Mom leaned in. You don't need it, darling. You manage fine. Justin's future requires scale. Dad produced a single document. Power of attorney. Sign. We administer until maturity. Streamlines taxes. I read line by line. Irrevocable grant. Full authority to Martin Brooks and Deborah Brooks. Immediate effect. Distribution discretion. My throat tightened. This hands control before I access anything. Grandma wrote, I'm the sole builder. Dad's eyes narrowed. Family pools, resources. You benefit long-term. Justin added post-Series A equity shares for everyone. Your stake grows. Mom's voice softened. Denying help divides us. After years of support. I slid the paper away. I won't sign. The codicil says no overrides. Dad's fist hit wood. Glasses jumped. Repeat that. I won't sign. My words cut clean. Justin laughed sharp. Legacy cash. You're blocking progress. Mom whispered, selfish after all we've given. Dad rose. You enjoy privileges here. Roof. Utilities. Vehicle. I met his stare. I covered the last 3 utility bills from cafe tips. Grandma tracked every receipt. Silence swallowed the room. A clock ticked in the hall. Dad pointed upstairs. Room. Reflect. I climbed. Door locked behind me. The email glowed. $92 million. Larger than Dad's annual bookings. Codicil glowing. Ashley is the builder. Grandma's conference photo watched from the shelf. 1986 floppy disk raised like a trophy. I typed to Mr. Fletcher, require complete trust files. Codicil originals. Urgent. Reply pinged. Compiling. Call office 9 a.m. Downstairs voices rose. Dad on contingencies. Mom on persuasion. Justin on deadlines. I sat against the headboard. The house shrank around inherited expectations. Grandma had measured independence in pay stubs and sacrifice. For once, the combination waited on me. Morning light filtered through blinds. Breakfast unfolded in frost. Dad stirred coffee without looking up. Mom sliced grapefruit. Justin reviewed pitch decks. Dad set his spoon down. Document remains. Sign by Friday. Or we explore alternatives. Alternatives. The threat lingered. I finished orange juice, grabbed my apron, and headed to the resort. Check-ins queued at the desk. I processed arrivals, upgraded suites, resolved complaints. Inside, the deadline ticked. Thursday blurred in routine. Dad emailed resort staff about efficiency reviews. Mom hosted a charity luncheon, smile fixed. Justin flew to Miami for investor coffee. Friday dawn broke humid. The power of attorney waited on the sideboard, pen aligned. Graduation day arrived, the University of Miami stage glowing under spotlights. 300 guests filled the bleachers, programs fluttering in the humid breeze. My family sat front row in crisp white, Dad's linen suit, Mom's pearl earrings catching light, Justin adjusting his gown. The ceremony flowed smooth. Names echoed over speakers. Diplomas handed. Applause waves. Justin paced backstage, mouthing lines into a handheld mic. "Thank you, Dean. Proud Hurricanes." His turn came. He bounded up the steps, cap tassel swinging. The crowd cheered louder for the local resort heir. Dad filmed on his phone. Mom waved a small flag. Justin gripped the podium. "Before I accept this degree, I have an announcement." He turned to our row. "My sister Ashley will fund my yacht booking app with $1.5 million from her trust fund." Gasps rippled. Phones rose. 300 faces swiveled toward me. Dad stood first, folder in hand. He climbed the side stairs, Mom behind. Security hesitated, but let them pass, family after all. Dad reached the stage edge. "Sign the commitment," he said loud enough for the front rows. He opened the folder, the same power of attorney. Pen clipped. Mom leaned close. "Sign or you're out. No more family." The mic amplified every word. Whispers turned to murmurs. A professor on stage frowned. I rose from my seat. Program crumpled in my fist. "No." My voice carried clear across the field. Justin's smile vanished. "You can't be serious." Dad thrust the paper. "This is public now." "Backing out embarrasses us all," Mom hissed. "Think of the investors watching." I stepped into the aisle. "It's my money." "No." Justin dropped the diploma. He charged across the stage. "You owe me." His hands shoved my shoulders hard. I stumbled backward. Heel caught the mic stand. Metal base tipped. My head cracked against the sharp edge. Pain exploded white. Blood poured warm down my temple. The stage spun. Screams erupted from the crowd. Phones flashed video. "Oh my God! Call 911, he hit her." Justin froze, hands out. I didn't mean. Dad grabbed his arm. "Control yourself." Mom covered her mouth. "Ashley, get up. You're fine." I tried to stand. Vision blurred red. The mic stand clattered loud. Security rushed the stage. 2 officers in uniform. "Step back." "Everyone." A guest shouted. I got it on video. The clip already uploaded. X notifications pinged across screens. Moir Yum grad assault trended local in seconds. Paramedics pushed through. Head injury. Clear space. Justin backed away, face pale. It was an accident. Dad argued with an officer. "Family matter. We'll handle internally." The cop cuffed Justin's wrists. "Public assault." "You're coming with us," Mom pleaded. "He's graduating." "This is a misunderstanding." Crowd filmed everything. Comments flooded. "That's the Brooks kid." Sister said no to funding. Blood everywhere. I lay on the stage. Gauze pressed to my scalp. Lights too bright. Sirens wailed closer. The dean canceled the rest of the ceremony. Guests filed out in shock. Phone still recording. Justin loaded into a cruiser. Dad followed, yelling about lawyers. Mom stayed, tears streaking mascara. Why make a scene? Blood soaked my gown. The mic lay bent beside me. Security sealed the area. Video hit 1 million views before ambulance doors closed. I woke under emergency lights, monitors beeping steady. Naples Memorial ER smelled of iodine and plastic. A nurse adjusted an IV. "Concussion protocol," she said. "Stay awake." The doctor entered with a clipboard. Ashley Brooks, head laceration, 12 stitches. Mild traumatic brain injury. 2 cracked ribs from the fall. CT clear, no bleed. Observation overnight. He signed the chart. Pain meds every 4 hours. No screens. Family outside. Dad paced the hallway visible through glass. Mom dabbed eyes with tissue. Just an absent station, probably. Emily, the hospital social worker, pulled the curtain. Badge read, Emily Rivera, MSW. Hi, Ashley. I handle safety plans. She sat on a stool. What happened on stage was assault. You don't have to protect them. I shifted ribs, protesting. It escalated fast. She nodded. Videos everywhere. Police report filed. Restraining order option available. She slid a pamphlet. Resources if you need distance. Dad knocked. We're coming in. Emily stood. Patient decides visitors. I hesitated. Not yet. She blocked the door. Give her space. Voices muffled outside. Emily returned. Your call changed everything. Press charges. I stared at the ceiling tiles. Maybe. She handed a card. Call anytime. Shelter counseling, legal aid. Alone again, I reached for my phone, cracked screen battery low. I dialed the number from the trust email. Fletcher Law Group, a receptionist answered. Harold Fletcher for Ashley Brooks. Urgent. Hold music played classical. Then his voice calm. Miss Brooks, I saw the news. En route. An hour later, the curtain parted. Mr. Fletcher's silver hair navy suit, black briefcase entered with a nurse's escort. He set the valley on the tray table. Margaret prepared for this, he said, clicking locks. Folders emerged thick with seals. Full trust copy. Contingency clauses, fraud safeguards. He opened one. Your grandmother suspected mismanagement. She embedded audit triggers. I leaned forward, wincing. They want control now. He slid a document. Anti-duress provision. Any transfer under coercion voids the POA. Automatic freeze. Another file. Email chain Margaret to me, 2018. If Martin attempts early access, release evidence. Evidence. My pulse quickened despite the meds. Mr. Fletcher continued. Bank records, shell companies. 70% royalties diverted since 1990. I exhaled. They faked contracts, forged signatures. We have originals. He closed the valley. They can't touch what's yours. Not without court. The weight lifted an invisible shield. For the first time, someone stood between me and obligation. Dad's voice rose outside. She's our daughter, security intervened. Sir, lower volume. Mr. Fletcher stood. I'll coordinate with police. Statement tomorrow, I nodded. Yes. He packed. Rest. Margaret built this fortress for you. The door clicked shut. Monitors beeped softer. Emily checked in. Lawyer grandma's. She smiled. Good. You're not alone. Night shift dimmed lights. Pain dulled under medication. I stared at the valley outline in the dark. Protected. The word settled warm. Morning brought broth and jello. Dad tried entry again. Denied. Mom left flowers card unsigned. Emily discharged me with instructions. Follow-up neurologist. Rib brace. No work 2 weeks. Mr. Fletcher waited in the lobby, car idling. Home or hotel? He nodded. Smart. The drive blurred past palm trees, valise on the seat between us. For the first time, family didn't mean surrender. Weeks after discharge, a court notice arrived at the hotel. Collier County Courthouse. Emergency guardianship hearing. Petitioner Martin Brooks. I read the filing in the lobby. Ashley Brooks suffers delusional disorder. Refuses family support. Incapable of managing finances. Medical attachments highlighted the stage incident. Trauma-induced paranoia. A psychological evaluation dated 2 days post-accident claimed impaired judgment. Mr. Fletcher met me outside the marble steps. Counter strategy ready. He carried a slim tablet, no briefcase today. Inside the courtroom smelled of polished wood and old paper. Judge Elena Ramirez presided, robe, black expression neutral. Martin sat with his attorney, Richard Klein, suit pressed sharp. Deborah beside him, clutching a handbag like a shield. Justin, absent, bail conditions barred contact. The clerk called case 2025 GU 1847. Klein opened. Miss Brooks rejected aiding her brother's education and legitimate business. Erratic behavior post-injury requires oversight for her safety and the estate's protection. He projected medical records on the wall screen: concussion history, public outburst at graduation, refusal of reasonable family requests. Mr. Fletcher rose. Objection. Mischaracterizes voluntary contributions as obligation. Sustained. Judge Ramirez said. I took the stand. Oath sworn. Klein questioned. You funded Justin's tuition vehicle's startup costs for years. Yes. Voluntarily, yet denied $1.5 million for launch capital. That demand crossed into coercion. He smirked. Reasonable for family legacy, correct? No, it was my inheritance. Mr. Fletcher's turn. He inserted a USB into the courtroom laptop. Exhibit A, email from Margaret Grant to Harold Fletcher dated March 12, 2018. Subject line: contingency release. Urgent. Body: Harold, if Martin diverts royalties or attempts early trust access release. Attached evidence of 1990 contract forgery. Protect Ashley at all costs. Gasps echoed. Martin shifted in his seat, knuckles white. Next slide. Bank statements 1991 present. 70% of software royalties routed to Cayman entity MB Holdings. Annual average $2.3 million. Forensic Inc. report followed. Signature on amendment dated 1990 does not match Margaret Grant's known samples. Forgery probability 98%. Martin's attorney objected. Chain of custody: Mr. Fletcher produced sealed originals, notarized by Margaret's notary 1985, filed with SEC. Judge Ramirez leaned forward, glasses low. Mr. Brooks' response to alleged diversion: Martin stood. Administrative restructuring. Margaret approved verbally. No record exists, Mr. Fletcher countered. Only forged addendum. Another slide. Shell company directors: Martin Brooks, Deborah Brooks. Dividend payouts matched resort expansion loans unreported to trust auditors. Deborah whispered, "This can't be." Klein tried recovery. Even if true guardianship protects the principal. Judge Ramirez cut in. Petition claims incapacity. Evidence shows calculated refusal, not delusion. Mr. Fletcher closed. Trust includes anti-duress clause. Coercion voids any POA. Automatic freeze activated upon filing. The judge reviewed documents silently. Clock ticked loud. Guardianship petition denied with prejudice. Gavel bang. Fraud investigation opened against Martin Brooks. Refer to state attorney and IRS. Case adjourned. Martin's face drained to ash. He gripped the table edge. Deborah burst into sobs, handbag spilling tissues. Our reputation. Everything. Bailiff approached. Sir remained seated until cleared. Reporters in the gallery typed furiously. Headlines already forming. Mr. Fletcher packed the USB. Trust remains intact. Your assets frozen from their reach pending audit. I stepped down, legs steady for the first time in weeks. The room felt larger. Outside, the courthouse cameras flashed. Brooks' heir accused of multi-decade fraud, microphones thrust forward. Martin shielded his face with a folder. Deborah hurried to a waiting sedan, tears streaming unchecked. Mr. Fletcher guided me through a side exit. Phase 1 complete. Civil suit next. Sun hit the parking lot hot. Justice finally had a temperature. 6 months later, federal court in Naples sealed the fallout. Martin lost every resort contract, vendors fled fraud headlines. The Gulfront mansion sold at auction for pennies. He took a sales job at a strip mall timeshare kiosk, polyester tie choking. Deborah moved to a one-bedroom condo downtown. Former bridge club friends ghosted invites. She shopped alone, cart rattling empty aisles. Justin's app crashed on launch servers seized for unpaid bills. Creditors chased $500,000 in loans. He drove Uber in Miami, red Mustang, long repossessed. Late-night fares paid interest only. I filed the name change quietly. Ashley Grant. The clerk stamped approval. No fanfare. Trust dividends flowed clean. Mr. Fletcher structured the Grant Women in Tech Scholarship, full rides for coders from single-parent homes. First cohort, 12 students, laptops gleaming. I visited campus launch day. Recipients shared stories, late shifts, doubt code that worked. One girl clutched her acceptance letter. This changes everything. Martin called once from the kiosk. Need a reference. I let voicemail fill. Deborah sent a birthday card, return address the condo. Inside, sorry, handwritten shaky. I filed it unread. Justin messaged from the Uber app. Can we talk? Blocked. The scholarship expanded. Annual gala raised millions. I spoke last. Grandma built systems. I build futures. Cutting ties isn't betrayal, it's survival.